all you wonderful students. I'm Aishwarya and welcome to the BYJU'S 6 to 8 channel. In our class today, we are going to be learning about nutrition in amoeba. Now, if this is the first video that you are watching as a part of our channel, I would like to welcome all of you new students out there. And the BYJU'S 6 to 8 channel has always got you covered because we always have a lot of interesting things in store for you. So if you are not our subscriber yet, it is time to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for all the notifications. And here's a quick sneak peek as to why you need to stay subscribed to our channel. We have the Akash National Talent Hunt exam. Now this out there is something that is available for all you wonderful 7th to 12th graders, the current students as well as the pass outs. Now, this is a talent hunt exam that is provided by the Akash Institute, wherein you stand a chance to win up to 100% scholarship, cash rewards, and a few students will win the most coveted NASA trip. And as you can see, it is entirely for free. You can register for free and the link is available in the description box. The exams are scheduled to be in November 2022. Now, apart from this, currently we have our mission midterms going on for all you students, which is a race to score 100% in your exam in just under 45 days. And in this mission midterm series, we are going to be providing you one-shot sessions of all the important chapters, session revisions, notes PDF, exam-focused important questions. We will be having separate doubt-solving sessions and strategy sessions along with mock tests as well. So we have an all-in-all exam package that will be provided. So all you need to do for all of this is to stay subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. And of course, we have the BYJU'S mini learning program, which is now free for the first 1,000 users every week. And in order to avail the mini learning program, all you need to use is the new code that we have, that is the YT first code. And as you know, in the mini learning program, we will have the two-teacher advantage wherein you will be able to get in-depth understanding of concepts. You will have post-class assessments and of course, you will have access to a lot of live learning as well. So if you have not availed this offer, well, now is the time. So now I've given you multiple reasons as to why you need to stay subscribed. So now, of course, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. Just hit it and stay tuned because you know that we've always got you covered no matter what. Now, of course, let's get started with the topic that we have in for today, which is on nutrition in amoeba. But of course, before I get started with this concept, it is important to understand what do we mean by the term nutrition. Now, we know that nutrition can be simply defined as the mode of intake of food, right, and its utilization. So, I'm going to quickly write this definition down so that we know what it means, right? Now, here, as you can see, there is an important term that I want all of you to focus on, that is mode of intake of food, which means we take in the food. Now, when you talk about, say, animals like, maybe giraffe or a lion, or just take our example, right? How do we take in our food? We take it in through our mouth, right? And then we know that it undergoes a series of steps where it is broken down by the process of digestion, then it is absorbed into the body, then utilized by the process of assimilation, and whatever undigested food is there is removed out through the process of ingestion. But what about an amoeba, right? How does amoeba obtain its food and how does it utilize it? But for that, we must all understand how an amoeba looks like. So this, what you see on your screen right here is an amoeba, right? Now, compared to us human beings or whether it was a lion or the giraffe, it's very different. First and foremost, we see that it looks like a slime kind of thing, which is just, moving around like this, right? And secondly, we do not see a mouth, right? We do not see a very complete body. All we see is this structure. So how is something like this able to get food? Does it even really utilize food? That's the question for today. Now, amoeba is a living organism, so yes, it does require food. But in order to understand how it obtains its food, we must have a basic understanding about the structure of the amoeba. Now, we see that amoeba is a unicellular organism, which means that this whole thing that you see here is just one single cell. And this right here is the most important part, that an amoeba has no definite shape. Now, normally we say that, cells might be circular, or we see that cells might be elongated. But in this case, we see that there's no such shape, right? It has an indefinite shape or undefined shape that is there. But because it is a single cell, it has some important cell organelles or parts of the cell. And the parts that we need to be aware of is the cell membrane, which is the outermost boundary that you see here. And inside the cell, of course, we have the nucleus, which acts as the control center. And we see that surrounding it is the jelly-like fluid that is there, which is the cytoplasm. Now, there's also this structure which I have labeled as food vacuole, but we will learn about it in just a bit. So these are the three things that you need to remember when it comes to the structure of amoeba. Now we see here that amoeba does obtain its food, right? And what's interesting is that amoeba shows all the 5 steps of nutrition, which means ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and ingestion. What we see in our body, we will see it in amoeba as well. Just that the way it does it is slightly different from the way we do it, right? So first and foremost, we know that step number 1 is ingestion. Now we know that ingestion is the process of taking in food into the body. And in our case, we use our mouth. But in the case of amoeba, it does not have any mouth. But what it does is that when it senses the food, right? Now, why am I specifying on this part? Amoeba does not have eyes to see the food, or it does not have a nose to smell the food when it is around. But rather, it has certain structures on the surface that can detect when the food is in its surrounding. And when it detects the food, it will start to move towards the food, right? Because it needs to eat it. And once it comes closer to the food particle, we see that this amoeba will extend itself, right? So we see that the cytoplasm will extend to one part like this. All the jelly will go to one part. Yes, and of course the cell membrane will help with that as well. It will extend as well. And they will form something known as pseudopodia. Very, very important. Now, if you break this word down, right? Pseudo here means false. And podium or podia here means feet. So these are false feet that are there that will extend. And you can imagine, just like how you would hug somebody, right? Wherein you will hug them and you will join your hands. Similarly, you can imagine that this amoeba is almost hugging. But what it's exactly doing is it is enclosing around the food particles, right? So it is enclosing around the food particles. And eventually we see that these two parts will get connected to each other. So the pseudopodia will meet and it will form something like this, leading to the formation of a food vacuole. Yes, pseudopodia will help in the formation of food vacuole. So they'll join and eventually the food particle is brought inside the body of amoeba. Now, apart from this, we also see that the pseudopodia helps with the locomotion as well. So the amoeba is able to move around because of the pseudopodia, right? As you can see, the false feet that are, getting formed in this video, they are the pseudopodia, right? So now we have looked at how they are able to ingest the food. They have taken in the food into their body. Now, step number 2 is digestion, right? Now, we know that digestion is nothing but the breakdown of complex food substances into simple soluble forms. So we see that once the food vacuole is formed, there are various digestive juices which will be present in the food vacuole, right? And we know that we also know that once these digestive juices are released within the food vacuole, the food will get digested, right? And it will get broken down into simple soluble forms. So step number 2 has also happened. Now moving on to step number 3, that is absorption. Now we know that absorption is when the digested food is absorbed into the body and then transported to different parts of the cell. And in our body, we have the finger-like projections that are there, which are villi that help with the absorption. But what about the amoeba? Amoeba in itself is just a single cell, which means that these food particles just need to reach different parts of this cell as well, right? So in this case, what we see here that these food particles will get distributed across the cell. Yes, by the process of diffusion. Now, this word diffusion might seem very heavy, but it's a very simple term. Diffusion is nothing but the free movement of substances from where to where? Substances from a region of more concentration or more amount, I would say, I'm making it very simple for all of you, to less amount, right? So the digested food substances are present more amount in and around the food vacuole. But we see that once digestion has taken place, it's fully digested and the food vacuole will open up, and we see that these food particles will go to different parts of the cell where they will get utilized by the process of assimilation. And we know that at the end of the day, these food substances or the simple soluble forms are required for energy, for growth, development, and of course for replication, which means to make more of themselves. And last but not the least, all the undigested food that is there is transported out through the body, and we see that there will be a small rupture in the cell membrane through which it will be given out. So in this case, what do we see? We see that all the 5 steps of nutrition are there, starting from ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Just that they may not have a well-defined digestive system or a mouth that may help them with it. But they have pseudopodia, there's formation of food vacuole, and we know that digestion will take place within that food vacuole, so that at the end of the day, the simple soluble forms of nutrients are there that can be utilized by the cell. So with this, if you see, we've understood the nutrition that we observe in amoeba. Now here's a very quick homework question for you, where I want you to quickly describe the process of nutrition in amoeba in the comment section below, right? So take your time, write it down, and I will be checking these answers very soon, right? So I hope that this class was extremely helpful for you, and now this topic, that is nutrition in amoeba, has become easy. Now, of course, if you are there as a part of our Telegram community, you know that we have a lot to offer for you in our Telegram community as well. So please make sure that you are subscribed to our Telegram community. Link is again there in the description box. And of course, no matter what, we've got you covered, and you know that. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and stay subscribed to our channel for more such interesting classes. Hoping to see you all very soon again. Bye-bye and have a nice day.